Okay, The War of the Worlds was Orson Welles' realistic radio dramatization of a Martian invasion on Earth. It broadcasted October 30th of 1938. During like this time period, the radio was a huge deal. So a Sunday at 8 p.m. was prime time radio time. But a lot of viewers were listening to ventriloquist Edgar Bergen on NBC, and then once that ended at 8:12, they turned to CBC for Orson Welles' dramatization of a Martian invasion. But since they tuned in 12 minutes later, a lot of people were confused and thought that this was a real announcement and Martians were taking over the planet. The announcers said that Martians were emerging out of their a Martian was emerging out of a crashed UFO, I guess, and gray snake-like tentacles, stuff like that. And then they said the Martians mounted walking war machines and fired heat ray weapons. They even said they annihilated 7,000 National Guardsmen, like immediately. So a lot of people were actually pretty spooked out about this because they missed the entire first part of the radio program saying this is a dramatization, this isn't real.
War of the Worlds was a radio broadcast that came out in 1938. This is about a story of an alien invasion. No one really knew the story at the time. So when it was broadcasted on the radio, it caused massive backlash of panic. Morning Edition reported in 2005 that listeners panicked, thinking the story is real. Many supposedly jumped in their cars to flee the area of the invasion. Yes, this was a article from 2005, but it was going back off past resorts. But from Radiolab, they state that about 1 in every 12 people of the 12 million listeners actually panic. So it was a much lower ratio, but that is still a million people who listen to the radio broadcast. And they said some percentage of that 1 million people ran out of their homes to flee the area, afraid that the invasion was actually real. This was the backlash of the 1938 radio broadcast of War of the Worlds.
Now the World of Wars scare caused mass panic throughout New Jersey. Or did it? Many argue that it didn't cause as much panic as it is reported on, as not as many people heard the broadcast as was originally thought. How do we know this? The night the program aired, the rating service telephoned over 5,000 households for a national rating survey. Only 2% answered that they were listening to the Orson Welles program. This indicates that maybe there was not as much mass panic as was originally thought, although this is still one of the largest radio scares in American history.